Even if you're not sure who she was, chances are you've heard of Grandma Moses, a woman who discovered a talent late in life for painting her life in a very original way. Well, we have an update for you in the form of a Houston woman who has discovered a talent of her own. We'll take you there in just a few minutes. Not too many years ago, they called it the Katy Prairie. Wide open rice plants dancing in the wind for as far as the eye could see. It's a neighborhood now with big brick houses side by side where the rice used to grow.
This is a big house and it takes a lot to keep going. I go up and down these steps 1,000,000 times a day, but you get used to that.
No matter who or where you are, Jackie Haliburton says everyone has distant memories that hover somewhere in the recesses of your mind. And every day, Jackie comes face to face with her own set of faded memories, memories of long ago, far away from the big houses on the Katy Prairie.
My earliest memory as a child was in Harrison Switch, Texas, a place where very few people have heard of. It's just a little place that people would love to call home.
It was just a few years ago that Jackie, with a head full of memories, decided her reflections of a little place called Harrison Switch should be preserved, but not with pen and paper. Nope, Jackie picked up a paintbrush, and her colorful memories made her an overnight sensation.
These are my relatives, things that I remember as a little kid growing up. I remember sweeping the yard clean. We kept it so nice and neat around there. And I was wondering, why did we have to sweep the yard? But it was because of the chickens and the geese and the ducks. A lot of people are people who I was raised with. They are people like Mr. J, Miss Tony, Miss White, Mr. White, Aunt Sister, which is my grandmother's sister. And there are people like that, people who I grew up with.
One day, Jackie boxed up her collection of acrylic and canvas memories and took them to an art show. That is a day that she will never forget.
I can remember the first art show that I did. We had this little makeshift tent, and I never will forget, it was like a little chicken coop, like. And the wind was blowing and the tent was coming all in. But the people, when they came by, they were ooh and awing about this art. It says, Jackie, this is some beautiful stuff. And they were digging in boxes. And I thought, man, maybe this might just work. I put myself in a lot of these paintings. I could see how pleasant the flowers were back then, the smell of them, and the plum grannies that we would pick off the tree. And yeah, a lot of these paintings, in these paintings, are me. We were poor, but I didn't know it. We were poor in material things, but as far as a family, we were very rich. We were very rich. Sometimes I wonder, why did I take this all in? And as a little kid, I can remember all this stuff. My sisters and brothers, they say, Jackie, we were wondering why you were like the person you were, because you was different. And it was because I was listening to my grandmother, I would listen to my mother and my dad. I would listen to how they talk and what they talked about. And I just took it all in as a little girl. And now I'm putting it on paper. I'm recalling what I remember as a kid. And I remember this lady coming in, and she was just looking at everything I had, and she was just looking, and tears came to her eyes, and she started to cry. And she says, "You just don't know how this make me feel." And I told her, I said, "I hope it wasn't a sad feeling." She said, "No, it wasn't. It was such a good feeling." She said, "This is such a good feeling."
A flood of memories captured on canvas from a little girl back in a place and time that can only be visited through the strokes of Jackie Haliburton's brush. She is still surprised that something in her very personal images strikes a chord with so many people who never even heard of her Harrison switch. Maybe everyone has something like this, she says, something of their very own, somewhere tucked away in that safe place we call memory.
I would love to just have a place out in the country where there's real quiet, and to have a studio with nothing but glass around it, where I could look out, even if it's raining, I could be out working and see the same thing as when I was a little girl. I'm glad to be that little girl. I really am.
And it's always a pleasure to have you to ride along with me. Let's do it again next week. I'm Bob Phillips. This is Texas Country Reporter. We'll see you next time.